I want to look at every Gauntlet port out there, from the good to the really, really not so good. Anyway, let's watch. Hey there, this is Let's Get Retro. Happy Christmas! Yes, if you're watching this in the far distant future, that'll sound a bit odd, but I'm actually recording this on Christmas Day, and a couple of minutes between the turkey and the crackers, so just thought I'd have a quick burst of Gauntlet, because I just haven't had enough of it so far. Big shout out to my mate Anto Orr, who I was down in his house on Christmas Eve, having a few beers, and night before Christmas Eve, having a few beers and playing on his arcade machine. So it's good crack, great fun. Anyway, we're looking at Gauntlet. This is it's a no photos picture of Thor there, and it's what kind of, the Valkyrie's got a very weird pose going on. This is the GBA port, Game Boy Advance. This was bundled with the game Ramparts, which is another Atari games game, and had a sort of weird Tetris meets Missile Command vibe. But look, this is Gauntlet. Good and bad. Good, first of all, I mean, it's a 16-bit machine. It looks awesome. It looks very, very good. And bear in mind, you're looking at this on a nice small screen. Scrolling is great. It's not an emulation, but it's, graphically, it's right up there with the machine, with the original arcade machine. It's lovely, silky smooth. Sound is pretty good. Now, the downsides. Have a look at my health bar. It's massive, even for a loser at games like me. It's overkill. It's like, in one sense, I suppose people just pump the emulated games, or the ported games full of credits when they give you that option, and just play forever. Well, it seems to just assume you're going to do that and give you a lot of credits at the start. So that's like the equivalent of 5-10p's in the arcades. It's like, nearly, look, I've got over 9,000. I've over 10,000 health there. So even that'll keep, look, they're hitting me, it doesn't matter. The other thing is, and I've been trying to find out this for certain because I don't have any a second copy of this. I have a link cable knocking about, but I don't have a second copy of this to try it with. You'd think it would support, I mean, looking at that Valkyrie 0, Wizard 0, blah, 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 I assumed that there would be, link cable at fun, and you could have 2-player, 4-player. Apparently not. It's solo mio. It's only you against the hordes on your own. And it's just, even the thing that kind of bugs a bit is that the Game Boy Advance port of Gauntlet 2, the Game Boy Color port of Gauntlet 2, which I'll be getting to way down the road, didn't have, it wasn't just single player. You could have a link cable and play double player as well, so it's kind of a step back. Apparently, I don't know much about Ramparts. I didn't really play it much, but they take a few liberties with how many bonus items you get and how it affects time. I'll have a quick look at it actually because it's on the cart before we go, but it's not a fantastic conversion in that sense. Like I said, superficially it looks awesome, but the way they kind of chose to deal with it, with the amount of health they give you and the whole social aspect of having 2 players, 3 players, 4 players just not being there. In other words, there's no multiplayer. It's kind of a bit of a bummer, but looks lovely. And again, bear in mind you're looking at this probably on your nice huge screen on your PC. So imagine this is on a teeny tiny screen, new screen to make everything look better. So, I noticed, interestingly enough, there's usually a health there. Now I know this isn't emulated, but it's kind of interesting that some with the arcade mode, depending on what level you're playing at and how many points you have and things like that, quite often some of the health won't be there. And that's why I've seen occasional emulated ones where, that extra health potion or food potion that should be there isn't there. So it's a bit odd in this case, since it's supposedly not emulated. I think they just put the wrong item in there. It's a pity because it looks pretty close to the original. I neglected to mention, by the way, in the previous review, I'm going to be looking at the Mega Drive version, so don't worry. It's it skips ahead in this. The reason I'm doing this one first is this one was sold as Gauntlet and Ramparts, whereas Gauntlet 4 was how the Mega Drive version was sold. So anyway. Let's do something different for a change. It's, sorry, too many mince pies. Let's have a look at... I haven't really covered any other games as part of these reviews, but I'm going to have a quick look at Ramparts in a sec. God, I could just walk into those ghosts because I've that much health. Some food can be destroyed. It doesn't matter because I'm full of food. I'm full of health. I'm supremely healthy. Now, as I said, everything I've looked up about this says it's not emulation, it's a port. But the graphics are that good. I mean, you know... Oh, there's a death. Now, this is one of these scrolly levels. I've covered this level. This level's cropped up a couple of times. We have to trigger that to get the bloody doors to open. So we can... Or, sorry, get the walls to disappear to allow us to get to that exit. If I remember rightly, we have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen and wrap around, and eventually we go back up to the top. And I could do the transporter trick, actually, I think, on this level. By the way, excuse me. By the way, in these reviews, I don't really crank the sound up for the game too high. I mean, I just have the background music. Again, as I always mention, mattmcfarlane.com, excellent site. Some great music there for your gameplay needs. But I don't generally have the... Oh, bugger, it's death. I generally don't have the sound cranked up for the in-game music. So if anyone misses it, I'm going to be doing a roundup review, maybe a little bit of each port. Now, I didn't seem to be able to telefrag there, which is a little bit unusual. Again, that's maybe pointing at the fact that it's a port, not an emulation. Ah, bugger! Oh, hang on, who cares? I'm like 8,000 points. I could go on a diet, or 8,000 health points. I can afford to go on a diet. That was actually a pretty cool thing I'm going to be getting to Gauntlet 2, where it would give you, to get to the hidden treasure rooms, it would give you hints on what to do. You had to do certain things to trigger them. And there'd be stuff like, one of them was go on a diet, and it basically, in other words, don't let your health go up for a while. It'd give you these little cryptic clues. Am I going the right way? It's funny, you've got game after game of mazes, and they only brought the compass points in Gauntlet. I think it's in Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I mean, I don't think it's in Legends. I think it's Gauntlet Dark Legacy, which is like Gauntlet 7 or Gauntlet 6. Oh, the exit. And that's the first time I've ever seen that mentioned. The stalling will trigger the doors. Like I mentioned before, the game will, if you don't fire for a while, it'll cause all the doors to disappear. The idea being, look, if you manage to screw up with the amount of keys you have, you can get trapped on a level. Oh, I bet there's a hidden trapdoor that releases that guy. And again, there's a second one then that if you... I think you can get away with just not moving for a while and not, or maybe you have to not fire. I can't remember which it is, but if you don't, definitely if you don't move, but I think if you just don't fire for like 5 minutes, you basically will turn every wall into an exit. But like, if you pumped the game full of money, you could cheat your entire way through the game like that, as far as I can tell. So, Gauntlet GBA. There's 2 Gauntlet games on the GBA. We're looking at Dark Legacy later on. It's not fantastic, to be honest, but it's a good effort, I guess. Oh, transporters. A bit pointless though with the lack of... Oh, look. I have limited invisibility. Sneaky. Yeah, you see, this is what bugs me. I should be able to telefrag him. I should be able to land on top of him, squish him. It's one of the only ways to kill death, other than letting him suck out 200 health out of you, or Oh, that's not good. Yeah, basically, other than killing him with magic or letting him suck 200 health out of you or a mate, teleporting on top of his ass will generally kill him. But in some ports, it doesn't. I found 1 or 2 ports previously where it doesn't either, so let's just insert the chase music there. There you go. Oh, level 10. So, should we have a quick look at Ramparts? Let's. Just so I can, you know, cover something that isn't Gauntlet. The interesting idea, at least releasing 2 games on the carts. So, I'm not 100% sure the controls on this. There's only 2 buttons, Bob. Come on. Can't be that hard. Yeah, so basically the gist of this is, it's missile command. And in between levels, you get to fortify your... How do I put this down? What button? Can you turn it? Ooh, we're running out of time. It's only giving me 1, bugger. Alright, you should be able to get 3 of them there. And I'll do the missile command thing where, you know, you have multiple guns. I think you can capture those castles as well, but I'm not an expert in Ramparts. It's actually something I might go back and have a proper look at, because it's an interesting little game. So now we do our repairs, and this is the Tetrisy bit, because you've got to fit them. Yeah, so you can't overlap. So I can stick 1 bit there, or there. Yeah, and there's a single piece. It's got to be on screen as well. And it can't. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, look, that's Ramparts anyway in a nutshell. This is just a quick glance at it there, just to include it with the old gauntlets. Anyway, listen, guys, happy Christmas, Merry New Year, and I'll probably be looking at the Mega Drive version next. Then we're going PlayStation. Then God knows where we're going to end up. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.